Well, that doesn't look too comfortable, but don't worry, because by spring 2019, this site will be the location for a new UNT resident hall. Over to my right back there, that will be the location of the UNT Tourist Center. Representatives with the city of Denton told me that they want to make sure we don't have backed up traffic like this so that we can work smarter and not harder. And this right here is what's left of the demolition, where the route to these gas explosions can be found in the soil. So with it being National Pancake Day, it only makes sense to stop by your favorite breakfast foods place and have them whip you up some treats. Right now on the square is the meetup for the National Geocaching Conference. Denton can rest a little easier knowing that it's built on good soil, but proceed with caution when digging. You want to plant in order to grow your community.
You've heard about it before. Home explosions caused by gas leaks that went undetected. Over 100 homes were evacuated last week in northwest Dallas by Atmos Energy after an explosion killed 12-year-old Linda Michelle Rogers. 45 minutes up I-35 is Denton, Texas,
where the route to these gas explosions can be found in the soil.
Those black soils that expand and contract when they get wet and dry seasonally result in more foundation damage in the DFW area. We spend hundreds of millions of dollars a year on foundation repair.
Okay. Professor Reed Faring teaches a soils class under geology and says the ground in Denton can tell you whether you live in a safe zone for gas piping.
One way to know where you are basically is to look for great big old oak trees. They only grow on the sandy soils.
Two major soils in Denton are sandy and black. Sandy soil is the best type of soil for piping, while black is not.
Those soils swell up like a sponge, basically, and they exert enough force to not only move foundations, but even to break old gas pipes. So it sounds like Atmos is going to have its hands full to replace those old steel pipes and iron pipes with plastic pipes.
Savion Manuel was 19 years old.
He just brought the energy.
He never wanted me to be late to class.
His smile was very contagious. I think that might be actually what I miss the most.
Miss him because Savion was shot and killed last Monday in Temple, Texas. 3 young teens were arrested and are under investigation. Allegedly, Savion was meeting up with them to sell his PlayStation. I sat down with his closest friends he had at UNT to ask them,
Who was Savion?
For most of them, sweet memories brought smiles. But for JAYDEN Galloway, who dated Savion,
and so
recounting her last conversation was hard.
The last time we talked, the conversation ended with, well, I'll talk to you later. And he said, I love you. And I said, I love you too. And that was the last thing we said.
A candlelight vigil was held for Savion on the same campus grounds he left an impact. For many, sadness and grief. For others, anger at the circumstance. But through the simple thought of what Savion would do comes forgiveness.
We still gotta forgive them. Like I said, if I hate them, then we spreading hate all over the world. We need to spread love.
4 weeks ago, Sav had actually put on Snapchat, like, it was a picture of him and he had coded something, and he said that even though people do him wrong, it's always good to forgive and let go.
Savion left JAYDEN a poem he initially wrote to her when they first met.
Okay, so this is You by Savion.
She hasn't read it since the first time, but is now.
Okay. She is my best friend. She is my family. My true heaven on earth.
One thing for certain was the love Savion left behind.
I submit myself to you.
Jade Jackson, NTTV News. Cleaning crews were on site tonight fixing a wall and broken glass at Recycled Books on the Square when this 2012 F-150 pickup truck ran into the interior of the building earlier this afternoon. Knocking over a shelf full of books and damaging the inside of the front store, managers had their hands full in the aftermath.
A gentleman jumped the curb. From what I understand, he thought he was reversing out of the parking spot, but he went forward, panicked a little bit, and pushed the gas instead of his brake. No one was hurt. That's the most important thing.
A little after an hour, customers could still browse the store while cleanup began. Denton Glass Company worked to prepare all of the damages.
We were back at the shop, and Adam Settles, the boss, got a call, said that someone ran into Recycled. So we're on our way to another job, And then we were called in to go back to the shop and get some wood and come over here and board everything up.
The fire department and the city both found that everything in the pillar was intact. It was safe.
Not too bad. We've seen worse before, you know. Sometimes they take out the whole storefront, but this is pretty minor.
As far as the driver of the truck, police left before they could be reached for comment.
Police got all of his information, his insurance, so basically everything that we need, and he was free to go. We got a ticket and left.
Jade Jackson, NTTV News.